Is Raleigh still worth moving to in 2025? Since COVID, Raleigh has consistently ranked one of the top relocation spots in the US. But does that hold true in the 2025? Hi, I'm Domingo. For those who don't know me, I'm a real estate agent and investor here in Raleigh. So for today's video, I'm gonna grade Raleigh based on 3 criteria: housing options, job market, and lifestyle. By the end of this, you should have a decent idea of whether or not Raleigh is gonna be the right location for you in 2025. For housing options, I'm going to break this up into 2 categories: renting and buying. As for renting, I feel like Raleigh is actually one of the best places to be at. Raleigh takes advantage of the up-and-coming mixed-use residencies like you saw in Midtown or Cary, like you see with Fenton. And this is typically the city's answer to high-density housing. And so if you're on the market for rent, you're not looking for a big place, you could end up getting a super nice location for a relatively affordable price. So to put on a spectrum, you can find a lot of the places in Raleigh going anywhere from $800 a room if you're trying to rent by the room, all the way up to roughly $2,500. Now, of course, the rent goes well beyond $2,500 a month if you're looking for a large home, large lot, or luxury option. But overall, I actually think the renting market here beats the buying market. So moving on to the buying market, if I were to be asked the question, is Raleigh a good place to buy? Really, the only way I could answer that is it just depends. So to start off with some of the high-level context, moving in Raleigh and buying a home is going to be a little bit cheaper than places like DC, New York City, LA, but it will be obviously more expensive than some of the more remote areas and remote states. And then getting a little bit more granular, year over year, Raleigh has appreciation. These are all good indicators. So the reason why I say it depends then is because of the affordability. Affordability is a metric that's defined by the average cost of the home compared to the average income per household, meaning the greater the disparity between those two, the less affordable the area. So what that means is even though it could be cheaper relative to these massive cities, it could still be difficult to own if you're on an average household income. And then again, with a lot of the appreciation rate, the development, and the fact that a lot of people and a lot of jobs are moving here, this is only expected to get worse unless for some reason the average income also adjusts accordingly. But as of current forecast, it's not really reliable to say whether that's the case or not. And so really all that means is if you're gonna buy here, just maybe buy not at the max budget and a little bit below your means. And so with that, we have a strong renters market and then it depends buyers market. So I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. So moving on to the job market, which is really what the triangle is known for. So the top job sectors here are medical, tech, and government. The closer to the Research Triangle Park you're gonna be, then the closer to the biotech industries. And then spread throughout all of Raleigh, you're gonna find plenty of medical facilities. Then of course, when you're in the heart of Raleigh, that's where you're gonna find a lot of the government jobs. And then along a very adjacent vein, we have the education industry, whether that be from the K through 12 or higher education. Raleigh in the Greater Triangle area has some of the best education in the nation. It's actually, I'm just going on a walk filming this, very common to see things like that. So just within Raleigh in the Greater Triangle area, you have NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and you have Duke University. These are actually the 3 universities that make up the original triangle, but they also serve a very important function for the economy. A lot of the K through 12 serve as feeder schools into these, especially along the tech and bio fields. And then subsequently, the universities fuel the job market. So all of this sort of ties together to say that the job market here has progression in mind. You could even say that it was designed for that. And then because Raleigh has a lot of development, blue collar jobs are also in extreme demand. And so with all this being said, the job market really caters to everyone. And so with that, I'm gonna give it a 5 stars. Now for the last category that we're gonna be talking about, it's lifestyle. Lifestyle is always one of those nuanced things where it always depends on what you're looking for. So with that being said, a lot of this is my opinion. The way that I would describe the lifestyle in Raleigh is that it's very moderate. It's not really extreme in any direction. There's plenty of amenities to keep yourself or a family busy, but just like the housing market comparison, it's no DC, New York City, or LA. So if you're coming from those areas and you're expecting to have the same sort of vibrance, then you're probably gonna be a little bit disappointed. Or if that's what you're looking for, then you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. But it's also moderate in the sense of its climate and geography. It's not gonna be totally flat like a place like Florida, which is where I'm from. But then again, it's not gonna be as mountainous as Colorado. That being said, it does have access to the beach within 2 hours and then the mountains also within 2 hours. So both landscapes are accessible for day trips. And then as far as climate, you're gonna get hot, humid summers, but it's not gonna be as excruciating again as Florida. It's not gonna be dry like a place like Arizona. And then the winters, conversely, are not gonna be as cold as a place like upstate New York. And you will, which you might have seen in some of my previous videos, experience all 4 seasons. So you get the leaves on the trees changing during fall and spring. You get the hot, humid, but lake and beach perfect weather during summer. And then you're gonna get moderate cold and very rarely see snow, which obviously if you like snow sports is a bad thing. And then the second to last point I wanna hit is for families. Raleigh and the Greater Triangle area is great for activities for kids, whether that be sports or not. For example, for those who know me, I like rock climbing, and the kids rock climbing team here is constantly winning regional championships. And then of course, like the sign you saw previously, there's entrepreneurship groups, there's a lot of robotics, tech, a lot of educational opportunities they could integrate at the universities, so on and so forth. All right, we're actually gonna turn around because that road's super loud. And my last point for lifestyle is it's super easy to be active and healthy here. In this particular instance, I literally just grabbed my camera and walked outside of my home, and it's pretty easy to go on a walk. If I really wanted to, I could take the Greenway, and they have biking and walking trails that span throughout the entire city. There's also plenty of parks, plenty of greenery, and the city's trying to develop into being bike friendly. And it's come a long ways, but it's not like Arlington, Virginia, where it's very, very optimally designed for biking. And overall, all the people here are very welcoming. It has all the modern amenities of being a city, and it has all the space to do outside activities like paddleboarding or running. And so with that, I'm gonna give the lifestyle section a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that brings us to the conclusion. We're coming out of here with an overall rating of 4.5 out of 5 stars. We gave the housing market a 4 out of 5 stars due to the accessibility to rent, but some of the unaffordability issues for buying. We gave the job market 5 out of 5 stars. While you may not find everything you're looking for, what the Triangle does offer, it offers very, very well. And then lastly, lifestyle got a 4.5 out of 5 stars due to the moderate accessibility of pretty much everything. So overall, I would definitely say that Raleigh is a place worth considering for 2025. Even if you don't know if you want to buy here, you could always just start with renting and then feel out the area. And then while there's a very strong job market, you could always apply for jobs and get accepted first before actually committing to move out here. In any case, like I said, I've been working in the industry for 5 years. So if you need any help for buying, selling, moving, just have general questions, reach out. You can find me either by commenting on this video below or with my contact information provided also below or on my channel page. So with that, if you made it to the end, greatly appreciate it and see you next week.